Ladies and gentlemen, and this is the business behind Kurzgesagt by the channel Kurzgesagt in a nutshell. In 2023, Kurzgesagt existed for 10 years, which is insanely long in internet years. Yeah, we are among the largest sciencey channel on YouTube and still a bit of black box to people. I guess this is a response to that video that somebody posted about Kurzgesagt. I didn't watch the video, but I guess I only know the surface of it. That basically Kurzgesagt takes money from people like Bill Gates organization, this and that, right? And they push that narrative or whatever. Look, everybody can have their biases. I don't know what the reality is. There could be truth in everything. But the point is this: I don't believe Kurzgesagt is, showing any fake things or, untruthful facts or something. I don't know how to say that. I'm pretty sure every science that Kurzgesagt talks about is, real, right? They might pick and choose the topic based on who's sponsoring them, maybe. But that doesn't mean that they are not talking truth. When they make up a climate video, they are saying all that based on whatever the scientific evidence that is, right? Any biology video, ants video, black hole video, it's all factual, right? So there is tendency in people that if there is even a small bit of pro quo or any type of if somebody takes some money here and there as a support, that means he's completely tainted, should not trust it, just throw him to the dogs or whatever, right? It's like somebody lies one time, might as well lied all the time or something. In this case, lie doesn't make sense, but still, there is 1% fault is like 100% fault. That's not how it works, right? You need to make your own observation. You need to come up with your own understanding, like with all the evidence there is, with all the sides that I was seeing, all the scientific evidence that I'm seeing. Is this channel truthful? Is this like Fox News or something who just makes shit up, even though it's clearly false, right? So there's both left and right wing news channels that does that. Right wing is Fox News, obviously. So you need to come up with your own basically understanding. Kurzgesagt is not that. I'm not saying Kurzgesagt doesn't take money from organizations. I'm just saying, look, you can have any opinion about Barack Obama, but what Obama did was that he took a lot of fund from Wall Street, more than any other person, if I remember correctly, right? And then when he came to office, he actually passed one of the biggest bills that goes against the Wall Street. He took their money and then went against them. So next time they actually funded the opposition guy. Who was that guy in 2012? Wall Street funded that guy, not Obama. So, it's like that. Just because somebody's getting funded by Bill Gates organization doesn't mean it's all biased and Bill Gates is evil and everything. There's going to be truth to everything, but what is the larger picture? You need to understand that. So I guess Kurzgesagt is just going to show the open books here, like where is our money coming from, what is our business, how we do things. This is a good thing, I guess. I'm glad he did, Kurzgesagt did this. But I don't want this channel to become that doubt channel. Is Kurzgesagt true? And there is conspiracy guy, like hardcore conspiracy guy, who even gets a one half truth and they just run with it. Like Kurzgesagt is just bad. I don't want that to happen to this channel, because science awareness is really important, and I don't want this to be tainted. So I'm glad they make this video. That's what it. Wait a minute.
In 2023, Kurzgesagt has existed for 10 years. Insanely long in internet years. We're among the largest sciencey channels on YouTube
20 million
and still a bit of a
subscribers.
black box to people. So let's talk about ourselves a bit in 3 parts. Our backstory, how we finance our work, and the values of Kurzgesagt. Let's jump back to a more innocent time. From humble beginnings to today. Kurzgesagt's foundation was laid when Philip, our founder, dropped out of high school as a teenager. Learning seemed daft and useless, and he wasn't interested in anything. Until a very special teacher at a school for dropouts grabbed him by the neck. The way she taught was different. She talked about connections and the big picture. She told a story. For the first time ever, Philip wanted to learn more without being forced. It was a key life experience. Kurzgesagt tries to recreate this experience for you. Nothing is boring if you tell a good story, and we try to tell these stories to spark excitement and make you want to go on and learn more. Because of the one teacher that could do this, Philip got a high school degree, studied history and design, and eventually started Kurzgesagt as a passion project inspired by Crash Course World History. In 2012, YouTube was less commercial and more idealistic. You couldn't make a living with videos as involved as ours, and that was fine. The goal was creative freedom, and so for the first few years, it actually cost money to make Kurzgesagt. We had no outside funding, just intrinsic motivation and a few friends from university. We worked for clients during the day and on Kurzgesagt at night, 80 to 100 hours a week. It was a real struggle, but also very rewarding. But then Patreon launched, sponsorship started, our views increased, YouTube changed. In 2015, the channel began to break even and then to earn a profit. But we were pretty burned out at this point, so we decided to bring in more friends and hire the first team members full-time, creating a legal entity. More people meant that we could stop overworking, do more, and improve. But we also needed to earn more. The livelihood of real humans depended upon it. None of us had any experience in running a company. We didn't plan to become big or to grow, it sort of just happened. A decade later, Kurzgesagt is not a small project anymore. We are an animation studio with offices in Munich and Berlin. We need computers, monitors, tablets, desks, coffee, contracts, pay licenses, taxes, rent, and insurance. In 2023, our team consists of over 60 employees and a lot of freelancers around the world.
60?
Salaries alone cost millions of dollars a year just to stay around. This creates an interesting problem. With such high production costs, how can we publish our work for free? How we finance Kurzgesagt. We've added up our earnings from 2015 through 2022. Our sources of funding change depending on opportunities and the state of the world. Early on, agency work was our main source of income. Ad revenue varies. In some years, we got more sponsorships than in others. The shop didn't exist for a long time, then it became pretty big after we launched our calendar. 62% of our revenue comes indirectly or directly from you. You watch our videos with ads, support us on Patreon, or buy from our shop. The single biggest source of income by far is our shop, that alone accounted for 40% over the last 8 years. The shop started small.
I mean, that is so awesome to hear that people actually go to the shop and buy it and is a major revenue, because like there's 60 employees. Holy shit, I didn't know that. I thought it would be some 60 employees, because that is really big, man. It's a proper studio. Obviously, it makes sense. I mean, look at all the details, all the animation, right? I'm pretty sure they even go through like what type of color, like blue. Okay, what tone of blue should we use that is the most pleasing? I bet they go through something like that. This is ridiculous.
But once we published our calendar for the first time in 2016, we realized it could really help us do more things, and we started producing more and more science products, from our posters to our gratitude journal or universe-scented candles. YouTube ads accounted for 13% and Patreon 9%.
Damn.
So without your support, we would cease to exist. Our shop and Patreon are our most important sources of revenue, and because we see ourselves as science communicators, we don't just do merch, but sciencey products that we spend hundreds of hours researching, discussing with experts, polishing up and working on directly with the manufacturers. They are part of the science story we try to tell. It also just feels good to get directly funded by you guys and give you something back for it on top of our videos. YouTube ads are a crucial part of our funding as well, but they are not within our control. Then there's paid agency work, which we stopped doing in 2022. It accounted for 9% of our revenue over the last 8 years.
You know what? What scares me the most about channels like Kurzgesagt is obviously this is not going to happen, but this is a major channel. It's been 10 years, 20 million subscribers, 2 offices, 60 employees and all this work. And yet YouTube has the same level of, checks and whatever about Kurzgesagt, the same as any other channel. Like Kurzgesagt can still get 3 strikes and that's it, channel cancelled. Like what the fuck? I mean, look, I understand it should be level field, right? Whether you have 10 subscribers or 10 million, it should be the same type of, but I think if you have like 20 million subscribers, big enough channel, where people actually have jobs and their livelihood is at stake, you should at least get some review, something, or some kind of a talk, rather than just 3 strikes and you're out like baseball shit, right? Because there can be mistakes, right? Even Kurzgesagt can see, right? I'm pretty sure there are the major legal people there who make sure that there is never a mistake. But what if that happens? Like, what, 10 years gone? What the fuck?
A lot in the beginning, not much by the end. Then there are commercial sponsors advertising products. They accounted for 12% of our revenue. We also got about 7% from German public broadcasting for the German channel, but ended this partnership in 2022.
Okay.
Finally, there are institutional sponsors representing about 10%. Some people take issue with this, especially Bill Gates has come under public scrutiny, and we've been criticized for even working with organizations funded by him. So let's look at this 10% in more detail. About 3% of our revenue over the last 8 years came from the Gates organizations for a wide variety of topics, often suggested by us. 5% comes from open philanthropy and is only used for specific projects. With these funds, we've started Arabic, Hindi, Korean, Japanese, Portuguese and French channels, bringing more free science content to more people. Then there's a 2-year funding for original TikTok content, which gives us freedom to explore and learn how to do short-form science communication. The final 2% came from other organizations like the Red Cross or the UN, for example.
That's what I love about Kurzgesagt. I love the reach. They're like, okay, there's such thing as TikTok, it's famous, fuck it, we'll do that as well. It doesn't matter if that's a good business proposition or not, but it will actually reach people that normally wouldn't, because there are people who just do TikTok, don't care about YouTube, don't care about anything else. Those people will have Kurzgesagt's reach as well, science reach. Maybe they'll see something they'll like the ant wars thing or whatever. Maybe something will intrigue them, and there you go. A new person enters the science field, which they normally wouldn't have.
We choose institutional sponsors carefully, but if organizations want to fund videos that help us spread quality information about relevant topics, this is an easy yes for us, if we have the capacity for it. On top of that, the institutional sponsors we're working with align with our values. We have contracts with every grant giver or sponsor that bars them from editorial influence other than suggesting topic areas like global health or climate change. We agree on video topics together, but sponsors can neither influence details nor our conclusions. The final decision always remains with us. And usually we develop the topics of the videos autonomously and tell the sponsor what we're doing afterwards. If you're interested in how we research our videos in detail, our head of research wrote an article about it. Running an educational YouTube channel is a balancing act that we take very seriously.
By this point, the level of work is going, the level of employees they have. They probably have topics and researches lying around, just there to put together. Because everybody is constantly working. It's not like, okay, we're going to make this video right now, everybody just work on that, right? It's like game developers, how they work, right? They're working on the current game, obviously, but they're also working on something else for the future, some other project as well that they're thinking of, didn't materialize. So somebody's just like, I like this climate change research. I'm deep into it. I'm going to keep doing that. Then just research will pile up. And one day when they think of, let's make a video about climate change, they already have the research there. It's not like, oh, look at that. Now, Bill Gates organization has given us this money. I guess we'll start to do research now, or, we'll ask Bill Gates what they want us to say or something. No, they already have science research there, right? Most of it. So, look, conspiracy theories will always be like, yeah, that's all bullshit. They get a lot of money and, they always have some narrative that is not complete truth, this and that. You'll never reach people like that.
Our best to maintain this balance, adjusting whenever necessary. As a team and a company, we want to grow to give more people access to a science-based outlook on the world. This brings us to our final topic. Why are we doing Kurzgesagt? Our values and our vision. Our core mission is to spark curiosity. We want to make science and humanism accessible for as many people as possible. The effort we put into creating our videos is a way of achieving that. Our videos are beautiful because that helps to spark curiosity, to understand complex topics, and because it just feels good to create and watch. Our research is as intensive as it is, so our videos are a good simplification of very complicated topics.
Yeah, it's like Neil deGrasse Tyson once said. People hate him for this kind of like, okay, he just gives you soundbite, he's like pompous, this and that. But people fail to realize that, like, if you see certain podcasts and certain lectures he's been through, his deep thoughts and his proper scientific talk feel different than normally hear it on the like his channel Star Talk or somewhere else. And he has explained that, like, I specifically do this soundbite type of thing and some fun game type of answer so people actually get interested in this. I'm not going to give you just hard science answers. You're just going to, your eyes going to glazed up or something, right? So this is something like that. They simplify the color, the board there, right? Kurzgesagt board there, all these lights and shade, make it fun.
We want to make people excited about science so they rediscover subjects they hated in school and see how amazing they are. On top of curiosity, we want to inspire long-term thinking and a positive, constructive outlook. Being optimistic about the future of humanity is not mainstream, and we think this is horrible. Pessimism often sounds smart and gets more views, while optimism can sound naive. But this is a bias that's not helpful for us as a species. So, despite the gloominess of many topics, we want to approach...
Again, that's because we've become a global species because of the internet, right? Because of social media. We see of the world more than we used to, and we see the wrong side more than the good side, and we just have this kind of a mentality like everything's gonna go to shit. There is no, like, why be optimist? That's just naive. Like, not really, right? People think world's gonna end, but humans have been here for thousands of years, right? Suddenly now world's gonna end. Just relax, man. There's been many events, there's been many things that should have ended, the world didn't. I mean, people don't see a million good things. They see 1,000 bad things. They're like, there's 1,000. Yeah, but that's in the, see the global event. People like, oh, there are 2,000, pandemic cases or something. Yeah, but 5,000 dies of accident or something somewhere in just one fucking country. Did you see that stat? I mean, we are global now, right? Information is global. That's why we have this kind of a negative mentality.
Them with informed and well-researched optimism. Not brushing humanity's very real challenges aside, but also not falling into the trap of pessimism. We want to inspire you to dream a little about the glorious future that we could actually build, but only if we believe it's possible. In the long run, we don't only want to do this on YouTube.
Yeah.
The idea...
I remember that climate change video they made, but one of them it was hopeful. Like, the world is not like, just, a degree course now in 2-3 years it's going to be too late, we are fucked. No, they actually made a hopeful video, like, maybe we are going to be fine, right? There are trends that shows maybe we're going to be fine. Now, conspiracy theorists, if they are right, it would be like, if their thinking is like climate change is the narrative they're trying to post, then Kurzgesagt should just make you, afraid of climate change, which, it is a scary thing, right? Climate change is scary. But there's also a video where they say, like, this future is going to be hopeful. So, they don't just post one narrative. They see all the science data. Some things like climate change, even though it's clear cut, like, you need to do something about this, otherwise we're fucked. But it's not like one, right or wrong. Like, it's not black and white type of answer. There's, way too many things to see it. So they cover everything. They even show the hopeful side of things.
Is for Kurzgesagt to be a positive influence across more media. On our TikTok channel, in the long-form content we're exploring, in apps, in the VR game that will be released later this year, and the games we plan to make in the future.
Right.
Our shop is a central part of this vision. We start our stories with a video and end them with a poster. There are so many things we want to do. And thanks to you watching this right now, we have the freedom to work to the best of our knowledge and ability. In the end, we hope you like what we offer and that we'll be doing something worthwhile for as long as we exist. And hopefully, we'll have a lasting impact by making science and learning more fun for as many people as possible. If you personally want to help us do this, you can watch and share our videos, check out our shop, become a Patreon, or give us an ad blocker exception. We exist because of you, and you have no idea how much we appreciate that you're here. And hopefully, we're less of a black box now. In any case, doing Kurzgesagt for a decade has been a pretty crazy ride. And so, from the whole team, thank you so much for being with us all these years.
Yep, there you go. Look, man, there's a saying like if an argument goes more than 10 minutes, both sides are wrong. I think the more, as at least the way I interpret that is that if argument goes more than the 10 minutes, there is no point of that argument. Just move on. That's how I see it. Not that both sides are wrong, but if you can't even make some progress in 10 minutes with any argument, which means other guy is not ready to listen to any reasoning that you're trying to present, right? So there's always going to be people who are just hardcore conspiracy theorists, right? That, oh, this is all bullshit, this is all propaganda. No, he gets a lot of money from Bill Gates organization here and there. It makes a tons of money from there, and he just puts specific narrative. And even though he doesn't say anything, false, he just pick and choose truth here and there to create some kind of a narrative. This is not a political word. Science is what science is, and doesn't matter what pick and choose science he might show. That is the illuminating path that you're gonna have, right? He's not going to lie about science. I mean, if he makes a climate change video about like how climate is fucked up and is ruining us, that's not going to be like, okay, this is like a very specific narrative. No, he's making a point like this is happening. Now, if that was not happening and he makes the video, that's a false thing. He's not going to do that, right? This channel doesn't do that. I love physics. I've been a science guy for more than a decade now. Everything I've seen, as most of my viewers probably know, like 70-80%, mostly physics related, I already kind of know. So I haven't come across anything that Kurzgesagt says is wrong, basically. So people are always going to be like, they're pushing some agenda here and there, they're false. Those people are unreachable. You're not going to change those people's mind. But Kurzgesagt, as far as I can see, is more than fine. Kurzgesagt is actually, really good channel that I like, because science is one field that people need to, like, science is not some like, maybe I'll be into science or maybe I'm not. You don't have a choice when it comes to science. Science is literally understanding of everything around you. How would you not, care about that? You need science if you're going to move forward in the world. World is becoming more and more technological, right? With the AI technologies now, soon it's going to be automated. You need science. It's not an option not to learn science. I mean, it's a free world. Everything, ignorance is an option. But science is a pretty important factor. Channels like this pushes that, mentality, like, okay, you want to see this, like, what are the Kardashians doing or whatever the shit like that, like E-News or whatever, but also watch Kurzgesagt because science is good, science is fun. So I like this channel. It's 20 million subscribers. Every time subscribers goes up of this channel, it's a good thing. Alright, well, if you like my reason, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you next time.